Um, HTML and CSS are similar because they're the main language for building web pages. However, HTML is more of simple, basic designs for a web page, such as like text. And then CSS is more of the fancier side to it. You can customize it more, and they both complete a web page interface, and you can use a CSS file and an HTML file, but you can't use an HTML and a CSS. I did my final project on digital forensics. Um, this is a branch of forensic science, and it's also a very versatile field, ranging from being used in business strategies to criminal investigations, what it's most popular for. Here, it's a more in-depth analysis of what it is. Yes, as I stated before, indicate the name of the innovation and provide a clear description of its purpose. Here I have the Merriam-Webster dictionary that defines it. It's a forensic science, as I stated previously, and digital forensics is mainly used in investigating digital device crimes. Um, it identifies the direct evidence of who is perpetrating a crime. Cyber crimes have been increasing greatly within the past decade. Digital forensics also is very well known for and solved one of the most mysterious serial killer cases. It was actually a cold case, and they found the BTK killer by tracking a floppy disk that he left at a police station. Effects and impacts explain a benefit and harmful effect of the innovation. Digital forensics has the ability to rapidly investigate massive amounts of data, and this computer innovation is extremely versatile. Um, a harmful effect of this innovation is that if these methodologies and tactics are used in a negative manner, gotten in the wrong hands, it could be very bad. Explain the impact that the innovation has on society, economy, and our culture. Um, well, uh, it allows us to identify against any foreign operators attempting to disturb our country, which is very important. Recently, the National Security Agency and American intelligence were able to trace down hackers that were trying to get into our network. Indicate one field other than computer science, which is innovation could impact. It has impacted the medical field a little bit. I wanted to investigate more into it. Um, Here, I also included a graph of the increase of survey down here, and then we recorded the data and put it in an Excel sheet, and we included these questions, and we had to compute the data.
Look what I found! Digital evidence. Thank God for digital forensics.
Jane, can you send me your location so I know where to meet you guys for dinner? All right, thanks. Bye.
One of the reasons why digital forensics is going to be so important to the future of our society is that as we transition to a more digital future, more and more ways are being invented to hide money using digital accounts and essentially hide the identity of the sender and the recipient. It is important to understand digital forensics in order to ensure a safer society and that no money is being used to finance terrorist organizations or launder money for drug cartels.
Describe how a user interacts with the innovation. Um, Generally, a user wouldn't really be involved in digital forensics unless they were involved in a criminal investigation where you were digital forensic analyst. However, any person does potentially have the susceptibility to be tracked. But an example is the BTK killer, as I stated before. A user interacts with this because the BTK killer used a floppy disk and sent it to the police, and they found archived documents on it, and they traced it back. Describe in detail how the innovations technology incorporates at least one of the big ideas. I found that programming was the most important. I felt like that programming played a huge role in digital forensics because digital forensics is aided in helping in cybersecurity and also searching for things. And programming in general is kind of like a basis. As you can see over here, there's a lot of different programming languages that are used. They're huge in facilitating digital forensics. And then here's just kind of like the most simplistic forms, like going back to bits and bytes and binary sequences. Describe how the innovation consumes data as input, produces or transforms data. Digital forensics actually does all of this. I think it's a very important computational innovation because it kind of goes through these 4 steps. It's used to consume data through searching for any criminal activity on the web. So that would be its input. And then after searching and investigating any data that it finds, that would be considered its output. And if that data is actually has the ability to be used as digital evidence in criminal investigations, that would be transforming the data found. At least describe at least one data storage privacy concern or security. I think that all of these actually do correlate with digital forensics and many other computational innovations. However, they do help in a positive way, but I think privacy is probably the biggest concern. I just think it's very concerning because digital forensics is used in many criminal investigations involving serial killers. However, digital forensics needs to be used properly to be used as digital evidence in court. There are certain rights under the Fourth Amendment that every person has, and if a person's rights, even if they are not criminal, are violated, then the evidence that is found is deemed irrelevant. References, but I decided that there were 2 that really stood out to me. This website, the National Institute of Justice, this really summarized digital forensics very well. And just the opening line that says computers are used for committing crimes, because that's a huge association with digital forensics. But I like how they also include, however, digital evidence is now used to prosecute all types of crimes, not just e-crime. I think one of the huge things in present day is technological devices. Therefore, so many people leave a digital or a cyber footprint. So I feel like digital forensics were the most prolific cold cases in history. I believe it says it up here, but I like how it included this: as time passes, technology becomes more sophisticated, which is very, very true, which things get harder, and it's very important to include digital forensics and cybersecurity. It says down here, computer technology the killer used brought BTK down. I believe that somewhere there is, oh, yes, it says from a floppy disk. They were able to track down Dennis Rader as being the user on the computer, and this is ultimately how he was found. And